Good day to you all. We are here on the roof of the Catholic Television Studios in Watertown, Massachusetts. And why are we on the roof, you ask? Because we have ideas so big they should not be confined to indoors. They should not be confined to one room. These are ideas not just outside the box, but outside of the building as it relates to our faith. And we're here with one of the best people to be talking to about innovative ideas, entrepreneurial ideas, and just really good ideas with the fun, wonderful, awesome person who I consider a dear, dear friend, Lisa Hendey. You know her, you love her. Lisa, welcome.
Oh, I'm super psyched as a fan of The Lens to be on with you. So exciting. And up here on the roof.
Up here on the roof. And this
Totally
is the first
awesome.
this is the first time we've ever done something on the
Yay!
roof. So note you will see sweat beads on our faces. It's all
The real roof, people.
It's the real roof. This is not CGI. Like if it rains, we're actually getting wet. But we're here to talk about big ideas in the Catholic Church, and we just thought like Lisa's the best person to talk to. Lisa goes around the whole world. She sees the big tent of the Catholic faith, and of all people to talk to about these ideas, it's Lisa. And Lisa, there's obviously so many things you could pull from, but just in general, some of the big ideas that you see that you love about going on in the Catholic Church that other people who are watching this show right now could maybe take with them into their parishes or their communities, or things that you've observed.
So one of the biggest things I've observed is if you want to learn how to be a saint, and we both want to be saints, right?
Of course.
Find a second grader. I have been doing extensive research on this last year with time travelers doing school visits, and I'm going to say to you that second graders are just about the most saintly people you're going to meet these days in the church. Do you know why?
Okay, second graders, the most saintly people. Is it because they are still sweet and naive and they haven't had the world crush them down yet? What is the reason, Lisa?
You know,
and by the way, Time Travelers, great book. Buy it on Amazon.
So I think it's because they spend half the year longing to be one with Jesus in the Eucharist. Typical second graders in sacramental preparation, they're having their first reconciliation. It's very sweet, you know, but then they're longing for this big day, the day that they'll receive their first communion. And for me, in my work in evangelization, it's all about longing to love Jesus and sharing that love with other people. And I've learned when I talk to second graders, they have amazing ideas about ways that they can serve the church. They don't make any excuses about, well, we need to form 10 committees and have 3 meetings. They just want to love Jesus, tell other people about him, and serve the church.
And man, the sacraments, the second grader just receives first communion. Man, they are really in touch with the Eucharist and what that means and how important that is to them.
I remember when my own son was in second grade, he was like, this is my second communion, this is my third communion, my fourth communion. Like at a certain point we stopped counting, but that longing to know Jesus in that way and to share it with other people, that's the way that I want to be. I want to have the youthful exuberance of a second grader, the excitement, but most of all, that joy.
And Lisa, you bring up a great point. I think a lot of people think the big ideas in the Catholic Church, we should think really outside the box, think really creative. And sometimes it's getting back to the bread and butter, the meat and potatoes of the church, which are the sacraments. And I know you're Catholic mom, and I don't have CatholicDad.com out there, but as a recent new Catholic dad who just sat through and participated in my daughter's baptism, that sacrament was awesome. Do you still remember your children's baptism?
I do. And you know what? That's a moment actually when we have family and friends around, because every family, you say to friends who've been away from the church or who've never been there before, my child is being baptized, come and celebrate with us. It's an open door moment. And what happens when they get there? What do they experience in that day? Our excitement, our joy, our love for why we're there, what brings us there, what unites us worldwide. It's infectious.
I was so moved. And I guess in the spirit of baptism, Lisa, we are on the roof. It's maybe 85 degrees out here. I did equip us with these, they're not squirt guns. I'm not a big fan of guns. These are dino blasters.
I think it's a dragon, St. George.
So if at any point you think that you need a refreshing squirt, go for it. Or if I'm boring you, or if I start to zone out, please hit me with it right in the face.
Awesome.
The water's sort of boiling hot right now. We'll maybe have a squirt gun fight towards the end. So back to the children, Lisa. You know, when I think of the big ideas in the church, I've gone to a couple masses over the years that have been run almost exclusively, with the exception of the priest, by kids.
Yeah.
And these are not like 16, 17, 18-year-olds. These are like grade schoolers who are doing the readings, who are passing the basket. And it's a sort of Lord of the Flies meets the Vatican, but with order. And I just find it so beautiful. And the fact that you can incorporate kids, that's a big idea that I think more people can take advantage of.
Well, you say to a classroom of second graders, I want to be a saint. Like, that's what I'm really aiming for. How can I be a saint? What can you do to be a saint? You'll be amazed. We've got Laudato Si, because they're talking about recycling and being good stewards of the world. They're talking about caring for the kid who's being bullied. They're talking about feeding the homeless by having yard sales and doing chores around their houses. I love their simplicity, and it inspires me that even somebody like me, a mom, you know, somebody who works from home, who's a simple person without theological degrees, we can each have an impact on our church. And what we need to stop waiting for is someone to tell us, you know, come to this meeting. If you see something that's missing, go do it.
If you see something, don't just say something, do something. Do something in the Catholic Church. And you know, you're right, I'm not someone who has a theological degree either. I don't have a doctorate, I'm not a priest. But I think it's really important as part of the sort of big ideas of the church, the rooftop ideas.
Right.
We are Catholic people.
Do you hear us?
Do you hear us? God, you do, but the neighbors do too now,
Right.
and I probably blew out the mic. But it's important to know that there is an empowerment and an agency in that, even though you don't have the credential, even though you may not know every book of the Old Testament or how to pronounce Pentateuch correctly or Deuteronomy, okay? It doesn't mean that you can't participate. It doesn't mean that you're in any way unequal in the realm of the church.
I think it's really true, and I think that if more of us, you know, stopped looking around us at what we thought was happening wrong in our parishes, and we looked at
You just looked
how
really
to
hot,
cool
Lisa.
ourselves down. Wait a minute.
She just looked
Wait a
really
minute.
hot. She just looked, oh, whoa,
Good
right in the
shot.
face. Good thing I got these. Good thing.
Oh, this is really disintegrating, Mr. Weber.
Ah! Okay. Before we ruin the equipment, I think I will say that was refreshing. That was refreshing,
It did feel quite
and
good.
and a first for Catholic TV, I believe. I feel like
You know what? This is it. Big ideas. Don't be boring.
Yes.
Our faith is too awesome to be boring about. So if it takes an occasional squirt gun to the eyes,
Yeah.
I say go for
Did
it.
I get you in the eye?
Oh, you got me right in the mouth.
Okay, good.
too.
But it was
It was
refreshing.
holy water.
And here's the other thing. And I think Pope Francis has been really good about this. Have fun. Have fun. You're right.
Absolutely.
The joy, the component,
Yeah.
the fun, and know when you need a good squirt gun moment. Okay, like these squirt gun moments. If it's hot out, if you're not praying, pray. If it's cool, go inside. There's all sorts of ways in which you can affect the environment you're in and introduce an intervention, and also know who to have these conversations with. Lisa, I was looking forward to this so much, and I'm just so glad you're doing all this work. A little bit more about Chime Travelers, where people can buy these books.
Oh, definitely.
And I want people to know like that is a great way, through reading and through people's work like yourselves, as a good way to connect back with the church.
Yeah, for sure. ChimeTravelerKids.com, your local Catholic bookstore. It's a series of 5 books. My twins, Patrick and Katie Brady, time travel through the magic of the Angelus bells at their local parish to meet different Catholic saints.
Ooh, I love it. And we'll end with an epic Dino Blaster war, if this is okay with our team. I don't want to destroy the microphone, so I'm gonna hold it.
aim
I'm gonna
away
hold
from
it,
the
and on the
microphone.
count of 3, we'll start. I played dirty. I played dirty.
Did you set 3?
I played dirty punch. And
That one did get me.
that did, okay, now we're even. Wow, this water is really hot. The roof is officially christened. Lisa, you're the best.